Section 25 of Nuggets of the New Thought by William Walker Atkinson. Do it now. Do today's tasks now. Don't try to do tomorrow's work today, but be sure and do the day's work now. The painful effects of procrastination: not fair to yourself, demoralization attendant upon putting off things, the world looking for people who can do things now. If you have anything to do, do it. If you have any task to perform today, do it now. If the matter cannot possibly be performed today, stop bothering about it and get to work doing the things of today. But don't get into that miserable habit of putting off things until later in the day or later in the week. Do them now. The old proverb, "Procrastination is the thief of time," is true, but it does not go far enough. Procrastination is not only the thief of time, but the thief of energy, the thief of efficiency, the thief of success. We have had much to say about living in the now, about not dwelling in the past or fretting about the future, and all this is true, and I will probably say it over and over again during the year, because I believe in it and wish you to get acquainted with the idea. But living in the now does not merely mean the thinking of the thoughts of today, the carrying of the burdens of today, the meeting of the problems of today. It also means the doing of the work of today. To attempt to carry last year's burdens or next week's burdens today is folly of the worst kind, as you well know, but it is equally foolish to put off today's work until tomorrow. It's not treating tomorrow right, not giving it a chance. The self of tomorrow is not exactly the self of today. That is, it has grown a little, and is the self of today plus the added experience of the day. And it is just as selfish for the self of today to attempt to throw his burdens upon the self of tomorrow as it would be for you to attempt to throw your burdens upon your brother or sister. It is not only selfish, but it is hurtful to you. It impedes your growth. Today's work is set before you because of the lesson it contains, and if you refuse to accept your lesson, you are the loser. You cannot get away from the task. It will be placed before you again and again until it is performed, and you might as well do it at once and get your lesson at the proper time, and not be compelled like the schoolboy to catch up in his work. By putting off things until tomorrow, you are simply heaping up troubles for yourself tomorrow, as tomorrow's own work will have to be done as well as your left-over tasks, and the chances are that neither of them will be done properly. There is no sense whatever in this habit of procrastinating. It is folly of the worst kind. And not only in the immediate effects is procrastination hurtful to one. One of the worst features of the case is the demoralizing effect it has upon the whole mental attitude of the man. It cultivates laziness, indecision, shiftlessness, slackness, and many other undesirable habits of thought and action. It manifests itself in numberless ways in the character of the man who has allowed himself to be tangled in it. It impairs his efficiency, affects his value. Then again, you are really unfair to yourself if you get in the way of putting off things. You never have any time to yourself if you have a number of old matters demanding your attention. The man who procrastinates is never able to spare time for mental improvement because he always has some old loose ends to wind up, some old tangle to straighten out, and he loses all idea of the value of time, of getting the most out of every hour, every minute. The procrastinator is the veriest drudge. He has his nose to the grindstone all the time. He never has any time he can call his own. He is a slave to his own habit of laying things aside. Poor man! I am satisfied that half the failures of life, yes, three-quarters of them, are due to the failure of persons to do the thing now. Not only because of what they lose directly by this habit, but because of the effect it produces upon their character. The shiftless habit of thought manifests itself in action. The thought and action long persist in will lead to a demoralization of the entire character of the individual. He soon forgets how to do things right, and that is where so many people fail. The world is looking for people who can do things and who can do them now. If you are one of the procrastinating kind, start in at once and get over it. Put up a sign before your desk, your sewing machine, your workbench, or wherever you spend most of your time, and have these words in big black letters on the sign: "Do it now." By carrying the thought of this now way of doing things, and letting it manifest itself in action as frequently as possible, you will find that before long your entire mental attitude regarding work has changed, and you will find yourself doing things when they should be done, without any particular effort on your part. The mind can be trained and taught to do things right. It needs a little courage, a little perseverance, a little willpower, but the result will pay you for your trouble. Start in to cure yourself of this bad habit. Start in at once. Do it now. End of section 25.